Hello again, welcome to the Mastercam courses. At that lecture we're gonna talk about how can we handle actually and some cycling process. And as you remember, that cycling process is quite important for us because when we turn to our CNC machine, we can easily change that and our parameters, and then we can organize our cutting strategies easily. Otherwise, and we need to turn back to the office, and then we need to actually check out our Mastercam file, and then maybe we should change parameters, tool and cutting speed, and maybe our and the chain. So okay, let's jump in the Lathe Toolpaths and can't and I mean that's all about cycling process. And then we're gonna talk about actually rough and finish G71 and G70, and then I'm gonna talk about pattern approach for cycling process. At that point I'm gonna start with and actually similar and example here. I can start with that, click here, here and here, and then I can select my tool, that's tool and active right now. I can also use that tool. This is, as you remember, that this is my feed rate. At that point actually we can also change our tool number here. For example, I can write here 10, this is, and my offset number, and this is my feed rate. I'm gonna use the constant cutting speed with my feed rate 150, and then maximum spindle speed. For example, I can write and the 5000 here, and then we can turn to pattern repeat parameters here. So I need to write my step over. My step over can be 0.15, so I can repeat that process by using the number of passes. It can be 3. It means that I'm going to repeat that process 3 times. And then this is my stock to leave on x-axis and stock to leave on the z-axis. We can also jump into some lead in and lead out examples. This is the compensation type. Compensation type is calculated by computer, and then just click OK button. And then we're gonna see that's kind of and the repeating toolpath. Okay, like this. So everything seems fine. So I just need to hit G1 button to be able to get my G code. I don't want to get all poses. I just want to see and the last operations, and click OK button to overwrite my file. And then we're gonna see our pattern toolpath G73. Okay, this is pattern toolpath. This is my profile number, and this is actually for some and stock to leave on the x-axis and stock to leave on the z-axis, U and W. And then this is my depth of cut, and this is my retract position for and each step. So we can repeat that cycling process again and again. Actually, at that point I'm gonna also mention about that stuff here. If I am taking all my posters, for example, this is actually, let me check that stuff again, and this is not cycling process. I don't want to get post for and that's operations. I can select that's operations, and then I can hit that button. So we can also see here, this is the ghost. I mean that I don't want to get any and the post for that operations, even if and it's selected. I can hit the G1 button. Yes, I can, yeah. So I changed the toolpath again here, maybe. Yeah, it must be same tool because we are using, and it's here, and tool 1 we can also use the tool 1 here. Okay, we can also change the tool. Actually, it is not important. I can turn to do that tool. It's also possible. I also create some video about that stuff. This is 21 and this is also 21. This is also 21 tool. I can turn here. But of course I don't want to change the radius because I just want to use the same profile. So that's why I can click here and here. Okay, this 1, 2, and 3. So when I am click here to get my post by using G1 button. Okay, let me remind you that stuff. We can see the 3 operations here and we can use different tool, but radius must be same because we are using the and compensation type as a computer. So that's why we can see the different approach like this. For example, my profile is here, my toolpath is here. This is because of my tool radius compensation and approach. When I am double click here, this is my tool radius and this is my parameters, compensation parameters. So everything seems fine. If I am changing the radius, my tool radius change, and we can create different, we need to get different actually G1 and the G code here. So that's why we have to use same tool radius. If you intend to change your tool radius, you cannot use G71 and G70 here and G73. Okay, actually when you turn to that block here, this is my actually and G73, I mean the pattern cycling process, that must be same because we cannot change our radius. Is that right? 21, let me check here. No, that's not same. -1. Yeah, that part is okay. That part is not important. This is my approach point actually. Let's focus on the that part and that part. Okay, I'm gonna copy here and then I'm gonna paste it here to check that out. Okay, this is the, you can see that that spot is quite similar. Okay, and that spot is also same, that spot is the same, that spot is the same, that spot same, and that spot same. So I can use that line again. So actually, as a summary, we don't need that stuff here. We can delete that part. Okay, I can write here P100 and it's a Q110. Maybe we should also create some, and we can also delete that part here to be on the safe side. I can copy that toolpath and paste it here, and this is U, and this is gonna turn to W here, like this. Okay, so I can use 21 tool as my actually pattern repeat process. We can use tool 1 for my roughing, and then we can turn to here 21. This is G70 pattern for my finishing, and then we can use the pattern repeat process like this. Okay, if I am changing my radius, of course it's not possible to use, and that's G code because of, and if I am changing my radius and compensation type, also compensation type is calculated by the computer, it means that we cannot use the that's number anymore. We changed that because of the using the different tool radius. But at that point, I'm going to also mention about some stuff here. We can turn to our parameters, starting from here, of course. I can turn to control approach here. We can also turn to control approach here. If I am selecting the control approach, it means that we can change our radius because we are controlling our compensation type on CNC. So I can change my radius 0.4. Okay, as you can see that we can easily use that stuff. Let me check that out first. I am using the different tool and different tool radius right now. But at that position, it's also possible to use G70 function, because according to my tool radius, my contour or my profile line is constant. Okay, so when I am turned here, we can also be able to use different tool radius here. I can double click on it, and then we can use 0.2 tool radius here. Okay, let me change that, 0.2. Yes, I can change that, and then that's also calculated by, and the control calculated by the CNC. This is 21, this is also 21, but I need to change my station here. That's gonna turn to 22. Yes, this is 21. Roughing process, I'll reduce 0.8, and then this is 20. This is 21. Which that's station number and tool offset number. And then this is tool radius 0.2 with my tool 21. So when I select all my operations and then hit my G button to be able to get my C code, G code, and then let me check that here. Yes, G70 is active right now. When I am turned to my G73 for my pattern, okay, it's also used and tool reduced offset compensation G42 for my actually and compensation type. So let me check that stuff here. Yes, that part is similar, that part similar, that part similar here, and similar and similar and similar here and similar here. And then this is the G1 and Z axis, and then we can calculate tool radius compensation to go to the X60. So I can turn back here, and then I just need to delete all that line. It's not necessary. Of course, I just need to write here that's number. Actually, this is not necessary. We can also keep going like this. It's not important. But at that point, I would like to emphasize that if you intend to use actually cycling process, you know that our cycling process, it depends on our geometry, but actually it's not depends on my product geometry. It depends on my actually and calculated by computer with compensation approach, calculated computer profile. So I mean that we are caring about this profile here. Let me turn back to computer again. Okay, we are caring about that profile. That profile must be same in our cycling process. If our cycling process profile is not same, we cannot use the pattern approach. We need to change our toolpath. It's yeah, actually, and it's created automatically by Mastercam. Okay, but when we turn here, actually it's also possible to create a different pattern by using the different block number. It's also possible to create that kind of approach. Anyway, and this is some advanced information maybe, but when we turn to actually fundamental approach for our process, I just need to click here, and then we can easily create our profile. Okay, this is my geometry. I can select my geometry and get my code. Okay, I can select all my posts and get our and the G code, and then send it to our CNC, and that's all. Actually, we don't need to change actually that profile, but I try to and explain why we are using the same radius with G71 and G70. If intend to use the G73 in your process, you can change your profile package, or you can organize it by using the control options for your radius. Okay, this is the advanced information. You can change your radius. If you would like to change your radius for your cycling process, you need to turn to control as a tool compensation type. Of course, at that point, you can turn to your CNC and you can organize your tool radius, and you need to organize your and the compensation parameters. Okay, that's it, and thank you very much. I really appreciated your interest.